With the 2024 Olympics underway, it's time to take a deeper look at Team USA's competition to evaluate which country has the best chance to knock off the heavy favorites and take home the gold. There's been tons of discussion about the United States roster, with some even proclaiming that this is the most talented Team USA roster we have ever seen. With that in mind, it's been perhaps a shock that despite a 5-0 record in exhibition play, they've had to battle until the very end in many of these games to come out on top. Highlighted by a narrow 1-point victory over South Sudan, Team USA clearly will not be blowing teams out en route to their 5th straight gold. Not only do the other nations have the advantage over the Americans when it comes to FIBA experience and team chemistry, but the talent around the world has only continued to improve since the previous Olympics. But which country has the best chance at knocking out the United States? The defending silver medalist as well as host nation this year, France has some of the most unique advantages of any nation in the 12-team pool. Not only will the home court advantage serve as a prominent boost for the squad, but no other team deploys a 7'4" alien playing power forward next to their 4-time Defensive Player of the Year at center. The pairing of Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert has been incredibly dominant thus far in international play. With no defensive 3 in the key to keep these two spread out, France has effectively eliminated the ability to produce high-quality shots in the paint, erasing attempts at the rim sometimes before they even happen. Wemby looks even better than he did to end the 2023-24 season, a scary thought for teams not only in the Olympics, but for the rest of the NBA as well moving forward. He leads the team in all statistical categories on a per-game basis, and that's on a nonchalant 57, 41, 90 shooting splits during the lead-up games to the tournament. Even with the impending return of Kevin Durant, Team USA does not have an answer for the French alien named Victor. Neither does anyone else, but this mismatch becomes particularly interesting if France are able to get a rematch of the 2021 Olympics gold medal game. Who guards him? Can AD or KD handle him one-on-one, or will the French turn to some of their sharp-shooting wings to exploit the advantages that Wembanyama creates? Speaking of those wings, there are a few more NBA players on this France roster as well, with Evan Fournier making his return and Nick Batum embarking on his farewell tour for his home nation, as he announced that he will retire from international competition following the conclusion of this tournament. While both have been nothing more than role players during their NBA careers, as we all know, these two in particular have proven that they can elevate their games when donning the motherland's colors. Happy belated birthday to Bilal Coulibaly as he finds himself on the roster as well, and they'll be relying on the 20-year-old to provide some key two-way play on the wing next to his experienced counterparts. This group will need to get hot from deep during this run, as France will need as much spacing as they can get on a condensed FIBA court to allow maximum operating space for Wembanyama as he plays alongside the Stifle Tower clogging up the middle. Now, the backcourt may be the French's biggest weakness, but they aren't exactly void of guard talent either. Killian Hayes and Theo Maledon were both cut from the final roster after appearing in a few of the qualifying games earlier this month. That still leaves head coach Vincent Collet with longtime EuroLeague star Nando De Colo to run the offense with legitimate options behind him in Frank Ntilikina and former NBA player Elie Okobo. Those names may not jump off the page for most American basketball fans, but don't be mistaken. It's perhaps the best backcourt rotation of any country outside of North America. All in all, the host nation France has a great chance to repeat as silver medalist and about as good a chance as anyone at toppling the United States. Since earning silver during the first Olympic Games to feature basketball back in 1936, we have not seen Canada earn a medal in the sport. However, this year's roster is by far the most talented that they have ever assembled in the land of maple syrup, boasting 10 NBA players including an MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The backcourt duo of he alongside Jamal Murray will have to carry the load, as these are the two clear most talented players on the roster. However, they're complemented by a plethora of quality players that not many other countries in this tournament can match. Perhaps basketball's best villain at the moment, Dillon Brooks will be a key piece for this team. He'll be leading the team's defensive identity alongside Lou Dort and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The performance of this trio will be a huge swing factor for the Canadians. The biggest advantage this team has over any other nation when it comes to having a chance against Team USA is going to be their ability to defend these American stars one-on-one. A country like France will be relying on their backline help to maintain a high-level defense, but it'll be the perimeter play for Canada that will keep them competitive on that end. While they did not fare very well in their exhibition against the United States earlier this month, and have disappointed in recent years in some of these international tournaments, the Canadian 2024 Olympics roster is the strongest collection of talent that they've ever put together, and is inarguably the most talented country outside of the United States. Coming off their World Cup win in 2023, Germany has not been more of a threat to the Western world since, well, Deutschland Dennis Schroeder is genuinely one of the best guards that we will see in this entire tournament, and the whole team has rallied behind him as their leader. But don't be mistaken, Germany is not a one-man show. Rising star Franz Wagner looks to build off of what has been a strong showing during the preparation games. He's got arguably the most talent of anyone on the roster, and this could be his big opportunity to prove himself as an elite player on the biggest international stage that there is. His brother Mo is beside him as well, complementing a very deep frontcourt line that gives the Germans a ton of both size and versatility. Daniel Theis will be the next most recognizable name on the list, but he's far from their only other option in the middle. This roster has 3 other legitimate options to go to in their frontcourt, and they all provide an array of skills that gives Germany the type of optionality to match up with any style of play. And we can't forget about the shooters on this team either. Obst is considered perhaps the best shooter in the world outside of the NBA, having proven to the United States themselves what a threat he can be from distance. A continued stretch of hot shooting during these Olympics from Obst would be a huge boost for this Germany squad. It was perhaps the biggest swing factor that led to them upsetting Team USA just a year ago. Seemingly always the bridesmaid but never the bride, Australia brings back another strong roster to the Olympics, spearheaded by Patty Mills, who still seems to get a +10 attribute boost every time he puts on the Boomers jersey. A few prominent NBA names such as Matisse Thybulle were left off the roster in favor of some more homegrown talent, but the team from Down Under has perhaps their best chance to take down the United States since the Rio Olympics in 2016. Coming off a victory over the hosts France in their final exhibition game, the Boomers should feel confident about their squad heading into the start of group play. The roster has a nice balance of perimeter shot creation, playmaking ability, defensive intensity, and all-around unselfishness amongst the roster. Patty Mills will be supported in the backcourt on each end by standout youngsters Dyson Daniels and Josh Giddey, as well as longtime Boomers veteran and NBA Finals legend Matthew Dellavedova. Pair that with a strong wing rotation of Josh Green, Joe Ingles, and Dante Exum, and Australia is looking at a great blend of shooters, defenders, and playmakers that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. In the middle, Jock Landale and Duop Reith should be seeing the lion's share of the frontcourt minutes, as the non-NBA talent on this roster primarily serves to give this team more size, meaning they have some depth behind 2 bigs who have only recently proved that they belong in the NBA. Australia's biggest advantage during these Olympics, however, may be their team chemistry. As we all know, continuity in international competition gives teams a huge upper hand when facing off a team such as the United States, who have only recently been assembled. This group of Aussies have largely been playing together for many years, and combine it with the type of team camaraderie that we often don't even see with most NBA teams. This is a tight-knit group of players that are going to play an extremely team-friendly style of basketball, which can only serve to help them throughout their Olympic run. It's also worth mentioning that perhaps the 2 best players in the world will also be participating in these games. Nikola Jokic is back for Serbia alongside 3 other NBA players on the roster, and Giannis Antetokounmpo makes his Olympics debut with Greece as well. While it would be a historic showing for either of these teams to even come close to knocking off Team USA, it shouldn't be ruled out entirely in a one-game winner-takes-all format. With all of that in mind, who's your pick as the team that has the best chance at taking down Team USA? Let me know down below in the comments.